My name is Jason, and I want to share my story with you. This story is about a time when something really hurtful happened to me. It involves my wife, Alina, and her sister's husband, Mike. They did something that made me very sad and angry. It felt like a big shock, like lightning striking me. My heart was full of pain. I couldn't believe that someone I loved could do this to me. The hurt went deep, like a cut that takes a long time to heal. The pain was so strong that it made me want to do something in return, to make them understand how much they hurt me. My feelings were like a fire, pushing me to act. The betrayal I had received from them taught me the worst realities of life. It all started when I decided to step into online dating, which was something that I had previously avoided. As someone who valued face-to-face interactions, I held reservations about the genuineness of these digital platforms. However, the absence of promising connections within my nearby surroundings compelled me to take a leap of faith. As I went through countless profiles, each appearing more ordinary than the previous, I came across Elena's profile. Her profile picture emitted some magic towards me that immediately captured my attention. Her unique passion for skating, a pastime I also held close to my heart, aroused my curiosity even further. With a mixture of careful hopefulness, I made a right swipe, and much to my surprise, our profiles matched. Little did I know that this apparently non-toxic online connection would steer me into a far more complicated and unsettling phase of my life, full of twists and turns that I could have never even imagined. Elena and I began our journey together, and we immediately developed a great loving bond. This strong connection grew due to our mutual fondness for socializing and outgoing personalities. As a result, our companionship became cozy and familiar. Life seemed great as we got settled just perfectly with each other. However, relationships are often more complex than they appear. Our story took an interesting turn when we welcomed Elena's younger sister, Selena, and her husband, Mike, into our lives. Since we all lived so close to each other, our interactions with them went beyond the usual interactions you might have with relatives. Instead, we became inseparable companions who enjoyed going on double dates and simply hanging out together. We had a really good bond. We hosted each other often, and living so close, we felt a sense of security and acquaintanceship. Mike, in particular, played an important role in my life. He became like a caring and supportive older brother. He became more than just a friend to me. It's amazing how our journey brought Elena and me closer together and extended our circle of family-like connections through Selena and Mike. Our close friendship with Selena and Mike made the unexpected revelation later occurring in our lives even harder to bear. It all started innocently enough with a visit from Mike to our apartment. It happened when one day I came back from the office and saw Mike leaving our apartment. He said he had come to return something that Selena had borrowed. At that moment, I didn't think much of it and didn't suspect anything was wrong. But as days passed, I couldn't shake off the feeling that something was just not right. The way Mike had acted during that visit began to play in my mind like a puzzle. His explanation had been vague. Looking back, it seemed like he was hiding something. My mind started connecting the dots, and slowly, the truth emerged after a few more such weird incidents. The trust we had built over time had been shattered in an instant. The bond we shared with Selena and Mike had been a smokescreen hiding the truth. The revelation hit me hard, as if the ground had been pulled from under my feet. The friendship that once felt unbreakable was now broken, and the hurt ran deep. Reflecting on those moments, it became clear that sometimes things are not as they seem. The closeness we feel with others might mask hidden secrets. It's a painful lesson that taught me the importance of truly knowing the people we invite into our lives. This all was revealed when my everyday routine was disturbed one day after receiving a distressed call from Selena. Her voice carried a weight of urgency, and that just caught my attention instantly. It was clear that something of huge significance had happened. She was crying a lot and just asking to meet in person to talk. Her voice was trembling, which showed the gravity of the situation. Without hesitation, I made up my mind to respond to her call for help. Even though I was quite busy that day and I had no time, I could not dismiss Selena in such a condition. In this scenario, it was clear that Selena needed my help, and she needed it now. However, her request for secrecy added a layer of complexity to the situation. She asked me not to call Mike or Elena, which was strange to me. I was suspicious and worried, but I excused myself from my work. On my way to Selena's place, I thought of every aspect that could have occurred for her to call me so urgently. But upon getting to know the reality, I realized my mind could never even work up to that extent. I had no idea that my life was going to fall apart that day. A heavy feeling filled the air as I stepped into Selena's house. Selena looked really sad, her hair all messy and her cheeks wet from tears. Her condition pointed out a very miserable story ahead. I asked her what had happened and why she was crying so much. She remained silent, but I did not stop questioning. By that point, I was extremely concerned. Without saying a word, she took me to her baby's room. I thought maybe it was something concerning the little baby girl. Though I was surprised that she would have called me for such an issue there, she started a video. The video was about to change everything, and I had no idea. At first, I was completely puzzled by what she was attempting to show me. However, my confusion quickly turned into shock and astonishment as I saw Elena and Mike stepping into the baby's room and having sex with each other. My jaw dropped open, and I found myself utterly incapable of forming any reasonable words. My gaze was locked on the intimate scene on the screen, unable to comprehend what my eyes had seen. It was a thing I never could have thought of. The love I shared with Elena was not less enough for her to be in intimate bonds with some other men, and that too her brother-in-law. A few seconds later, my gaze shifted to Selena, who met my stunned expression with a knowing look. In the silence that came after, Selena's sad eyes met mine. Her face looked like she was feeling a lot of different things, just like I was. She whispered, "You're absolutely right." That little sentence held so much meaning. It showed how deeply we both felt hurt by the people we trusted. We were going through the exact same pain. I needed to sit down because everything felt heavy and confusing, and it was too much for me to take in. The truth fell like a huge rock on me. It was hard to understand that the people I loved and trusted the most had done something so hurtful to me. It was like a big shock that I didn't know how to deal with. Selena and I were both really upset because our partners did something that hurt us a lot. We decided to talk to them about it together because we both felt the same way. But we did not want to do it so simply. We had to now plan an act of revenge for the betrayal we had received from our beloved partners. So we planned a specific date for this. Selena thought of gathering all of us at her house. A day or two later, the four of us were there at Selena's place. It felt kind of tense and uncomfortable because nobody was saying anything, but you could feel that something was wrong. She wanted us to watch a movie together, like a fun thing to do. But then, something changed. Selena took the CD and put it inside the CD player. Then, the unexpected happened. Instead of a regular movie, a video started playing. This video was the same one that Selena had shown me. It showed Elena and Mike in a situation that wasn't right, and they had no idea they were being recorded. When the video started playing, a wave of emotions swept through the room. Elena's and Mike's faces turned various shades of reddish, revealing the depth of their guilt and shame. The atmosphere in the room changed. They had not expected it in their wildest dreams that this was all caught on a video, and they were caught red-handed. Overwhelmed by a rush of emotions, I slowly stood up from my seat. With each step I took, I walked towards Elena, my heart burdened by an unfamiliar mix of determination and sadness. When I spoke, my voice carried a tone that was new to my ears, a blend of absolute certainty and profound sorrow. I told her something that was incredibly difficult to express but needed to be shared. Elena had ruined our marriage beyond repair. She had not thought of me even once before engaging with someone else. Moreover, she had not cared about her own sister. She had been a selfish and horrible wife and sister. It was clear that I had to detach myself from Elena completely. She had done enough, and I knew deep down that it would take me a lot of time to heal. As I stepped out of Selena's home, I was crying and hurting too. My wife had betrayed me and had been unfaithful to me. I had loved her so dearly. I had never engaged in any unfaithful act in my entire marriage because I respected her so much. I could not imagine separating from the person I loved the most, but it needed to be done. I called my lawyer to file for divorce and proceed legally. As the word got out about what Elena and Mike had done, it created a big shock. People in our group of friends felt surprised too. The stuff they did was horrible, and even friends who used to really like them started saying bad things about them. You know, the close bonds we all had in our families, which used to make us feel really strong and close, now felt different because of the not-so-good things they did. Selena turned out to be even stronger than I was, which was admirable. She had hired a lawyer, and she had fought for the complete custody of her daughter. She won the case and got custody. Mike's acts had made it very easy for her. Alana's infidelity in our marriage favored me greatly during our divorce. The journey toward healing was far from a simple, straightforward path. I had known that I would have to go through a lot of pain to ultimately feel better. I had to go through therapy to cope up with the grief that I was going through. It was not easy at all, but I was just lucky to have my friends and family by my side. They made sure to pull me out of my depressing phases whenever they overwhelmed me. It was my mom who actually pushed me towards this option of taking mental help, or I would have never even considered it. When I look back, I realize that my urge for revenge wasn't only about making those who harmed me feel the same pain. It transformed into a journey of discovering who I am, finding the strength to keep going and starting fresh. The scars from being betrayed might stay with me, but they show me how much inner power we have to conquer even the most complicated challenges in life. After my divorce, I assumed I would stay in that pain forever, but that turned out to be wrong. With time and effort, it is possible to overcome every pain that is thrown your way. I never talked to Elena again, even though she tried to reach out to me a lot, but I am glad I did not respond. I am very happy with where I am in my life today, and I don't regret anything. OP, it is heartbreaking to get deceived by those who are closest to you. A person always trusts his family and seeks love and comfort in them. It shatters to be betrayed by them. Your wife didn't deserve you and your affection and loyalty. Mike was also a horrible husband and a horrible father. He became your brother and then stabbed you in your back. He hurt his own wife in the same way. Both of them didn't deserve the goodness that you had inside you. I hope and pray you find all the light and happiness that you deserve. I also hope that Selena finds joy and delight in her life. Her daughter also deserves good parenting. You're very strong to have faced everything and move on from it. It is always relieving for me to see people heal. You are one of those who choose to get out of the pain and trauma, and I am happy for that. Thank you for sharing. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed listening, please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, comment below with your thoughts on what happened. If there is a story you would like to share with me about your own situation or someone else's, then please do not hesitate to contact me. Take care.